Hello everyone and welcome back to Factorio Space Exploration playthrough. So in the end I wanted to go live yesterday, I wanted to continue this, but unfortunately I couldn't. Well, here goes the extra schedule. So we are back to the normal one, where we shall continue today, where we have left on Saturday, 2 days ago. So, and where did we actually leave this on Saturday? Well, hey Kvach, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? So I didn't have time to to go back to this at all. I hope I haven't forgotten anything over the 2 days. Let me quickly go through what I did here. Oh yeah, so we had the 8 operations of one balancing, which I believe are finished, and we have also inputted the catalysts. We have the catalysts for every single, is it called quadruple, or is it called like a double, not a double pair, like a quadruple, maybe? Help me out there. Of each one of these. Windmills, yeah, these are the windmills. Delightfully prosaic. Oh man, you speak in a very beautiful language. I'm picking up on what you're saying and kinda trying to memorize these beautiful expressions. Delightfully prosaic. That's a cool way to say you're chilling, right? Okay, and before we go further, I'd like to test them out. I'd like to make sure that these are properly working. So let's go ahead and do a bunch of conversions. For example, we have lambdas, and we know from the spreadsheet, I'm gonna open it later once we need to look at it more, that lambdas and fees are equivalent. So let me take, let's say 4 lambdas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them here. And we should be getting 4 fees. 2s, and then 2s. So normally all of them are parallelizable if we had more lambdas, but since we have only 4, it's like 2, and then 2 to finish processing, and the next 2, so we have 4 of them working for a little while, and then these final ones finish the processing. Yep, nothing much exciting happened, and it was appreciated. I do like as well, like uneventful days off to rest. Unfortunately, yesterday it was shopping. Because, oh, yeah, by the way, I'll say it now already. I'm gonna, of course, say it in the future, but next weekend, I'm going on a trip with my girlfriend for, like, 1 night somewhere, so I'm not gonna be able to stream on Saturday. But I'm gonna say it again on Friday, so... and we had to prepare for this, so we had to do a lot of shopping. We go for camping, 1-day camping. So some shopping was required this weekend. It was a bit... a lot of shopping was required. I figure if I can get around to really learning another language, that I might as well learn this one well. Actually, you're that's a very good how should I describe it? Thing to do, because in my case, for example, I can fluently speak several languages, but there is not a single one where I'm like 100% proficient. Like I wouldn't be able to write, for example, a novel in any of the languages. It would just be too hard for me because I'm not 100% proficient, and that sometimes can bite you. So I'm really impressed by people who master one language, like properly master, which I think is really cool. I'm kind of a jack of several trades, master of none. Fee here. So we have tested this one. Let's do this one back. Do we have 4 fees, and do we have 4 of them working? Yeah. Look at this. There's like 2 seconds where all 4 of them are working at once, and that's exactly what we want. We want to have the same here. So here we need to convert. These are x's into epsilon. So let's have 4 x's. 3, 4, just checking. Why am I checking is because 2 days ago on Saturday, like the last time, we had this machine, this particular quadruple, which was not working. For some reason, I don't even know how. I had misplaced the machines. And I just want to check that every other ones are properly working. Okay, bam. These are zetas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put the zetas down. Okay, these were fixed, I remember. Okay, and that's I'm happy to see that these are working. So 4 zetas give us 4 omegas. And again, let's use the 4 omegas onto this one backwards operation. And yeah, okay, cool. And the final ones are thetas and gammas. Let's try to pick 4 thetas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them down here. Unit testing. Okay, cool. These are working. All 4 of them should be working at once, and the result should be 4 at some point. So 2 to finish, 2 next to begin, and this is the first to finishing, and now the final to finishing. Okay, cool. Everything is working. So only this machine had the problem. I don't know why. I'm not sure how it happened, but it's now fixed. So we are golden. We are golden, and the numbers are also like we could balance any single. How should we call them? Because it's not pair balancing, it's not pair to pair, it's a single one to single one, but by pairs. So it's like 1-to-1 balancing 4 times. We have 4 kinds of 1-to-1 balancing, and this is achieved by what I called yesterday, 2 days ago, the first operation. This is the first operation. So this should give us the 1-to-1 balancing of 4 pairs. Now, the second operation is a pair balancing. Here we want to balance the pairs of these items, which are conveniently parts of the singletons. And I have started working on this before. I remember we realized that this could be improved, so now this one is not useful anymore. It was an improved version of this one, which I like this version a lot because we don't have any kind of sphere passing from a machine across the box to another one. All of it is kind of local, like only adjacent machines transfer items, and also inputs are coming from the box, outputs are going to the box, and that's it. So I'm really liking it. It's also parallelizable and whatnot. So here, let me open the Excel. Let me open it now for everyone, so that you know what I'm talking about, even if you might not have watched the previous episode. Discord, Chrome. Let me attach it to the screen. Here we go. Chrome. It didn't get attached. Hold on. Done. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, you should be seeing it. So here we go. We have finished this operation. So as you can see, we had 8 different sets of machines, and we had basically 2 of them which are reversible in inverse sets, and we have 4 different with their complementary inversing sets. And now we are going to be making 4 sets of the second operation, which are balancing out the pairs. So as you can see, for example, here we have balanced out lambda and phi. They're the same color, they're like complementary items. And we have also balanced x's and epsilons. And this second operation is going to allow us to balance out the pairs of lambdas phis as opposed to the pair of x's epsilons. So pair-to-pair balancing, 2-to-2 balancing. And as expected, we have 4 of them. And the final one is going to be 4-to-4 balancing, and this is provided by the game. Okay, let's implement this. So we need to lose 2 lambdas to phis and gain 2 x's and 2 epsilons. I'm going to implement this one, AFGD. And we have started working on that last time. Here should be AFGD. I'm gonna trust myself that this has been properly configured. Like, these are the proper operations, and let's see whether the connections are all right. So we're gonna be losing lambdas and phis, and here we can see that lambdas are these 2 and phis are these 2. Now, does it make sense to swap them around to have lambdas kind of run in front of another and phis in front of another, or is it okay? Let me check. So here we have omegas as catalysts. And imagine we have all of the catalysts at once in these machines, because all of them need to start working at once. Yeah, the most important thing I want to be mindful of is kind of having all of them running at the same time, if possible. Like, that's optimizations already. So these create xi and theta. Xi is needed. No, this is an output. Wait, who needs xi? Wait a second, no one needs xi. No one needs xi. Hold on. It should be AFGD. Let me recheck everything then. Do we have AFGD? A is the one which transforms lambdas into x's. This one. This is A. FGD, B, C, D. E, F, G. So this one, this one, and this one. This one transforms lambda theta into epsilon and zeta. Lambda theta, epsilon, theta. This is the one. And then F and G. Zeta, phi, gamma, epsilon. Zeta, phi, gamma, epsilon. And finally G. Phi, gamma to omega and xi. Phi, gamma, omega, xi. So the machines are correct. Now, what am I missing? Why? Xi here is not consumed anywhere. The is it the output? Oh my god, this is the output. We need to output we need to consume 2 lambdas and 2 phis to output 2 xis and 2 epsilons. Okay, so xi is an output. Oh, indeed, it's going back to the chest here after these operations are done. It's going back to the chest. Xis are going back, and epsilons are also going back. So the real byproducts here are gonna be a theta here, which is gonna be jumping into this machine, and a zeta here, which is gonna go here, and here we have a gamma, which is gonna go to the top, and we have a omega, which is gonna go to the left, and that is perfect. That is perfect. Okay, I think it should work. I think it should work. Now, is it properly parallelizable? How many spheres do you need to guarantee a minimum stock for this whole factory? Well, considering we have been inputting catalysts into every single machine, so there is a light way to do it, and there is an efficient way to do it, and I went for the efficient way, but I'm not really sure if it's worth it. So right now, each one of these 4 machines, each one of the sets of 4 here, takes 4 catalysts as parts of the build, which don't exit the build. But if we have 4, all 4 machines can be working at once. But if we restrict them at only 1 each, so only 2 catalysts for the set, then we are going to be having half the speed, but more free spheres. You know what? Actually, that might be better. It might be better to limit ourselves to half the speed right for now, and have more spheres at hand. What do you think? I feel like having more spheres at hand, at least for now, is a better deal. We don't need speed, and we can always increase it whenever after inputting the spheres. So, so basically, how many spheres we need is okay, let's go for the minimum. I'm gonna go for the minimum for now, while knowing that we can always increase the speed. So let me grab half of these from here. So 2 machines per set of 4 for these. We have 8 sets, so it makes 16 spheres. 16 spheres to maintain the first operation. I think it's better. Yeah, we don't want speed for now, but we want spheres. We want to have more of these. And the second operation, I think we can also limit ourselves to only 2, because these need these, right? But then these need these. So we can have 1 lambda and 1 phi consumed first, but we won't be getting oh no, that's good, that's good. So let's try. Let's place 1 omega and 1 zeta here, and see if it can bootstrap us everything. 1 zeta and 1 omega. So 1 omega goes here, 1 zeta goes here. And now let's test this factory. Let's test this factory, and let's see whether we can effectively lose 2 lambdas and 2 phis and gain 2 epsilons and 2 xis. 2 lambdas, 2 phis, and gain... Oh yeah, this is what we are losing. So let's see. Put this in the chest and hope for the best. Okay, so these 2 started working. I should put the beacon. And now these 2 started working. And I think that's good. I think that's good. And we have 2 epsilons and 2 zetas. Indeed, indeed, indeed. The build is done. The build is done. The 2-pair balancing is done. So let me place it in a smart way, in a nice way, not smart way, nice way. And I think a nice way could be like this. We are kind of continuing the diagonal, and instead of having its opposite operation next to it, we can have it above it. Because we only have 4. We have a pair and its opposite, and then second pair and this second opposite. So we have only 4 here. And if we go towards the top, we're going to be having these kind of nicely aligned. Nicely placed. So the second operation also needs... Hold on, where are the items? Did I pick them up? Oh, yeah, of course, because I have moved the factory, so I have picked up the catalysts. So let's put them back. We have gamma, omega here, and zeta here. The catalysts are done. Let's now do the opposite factory. So opening this up, I'm gonna place it as is for now. here, so here, just to measure where this should be placed. And let's have a look at the Excel once more and figure out what is the formula. And the formula is this one, the opposite. So B-E-C-H, Beck, the Beck. And as always, to help us with the construction, let's place 4 dummies here. Let's prepare them with BECH. Let's empty these as well. And it's fine. BECH, so B, C, E, and H, final one. Okay, so these should be the ones. Now, again, the 2 inputs, let's do it similar to this one. The 2 inputs should be here. So the first one is where the input is on the right, and the second one is where the input is on the left. I wonder if this is preserved. So let's check out. What are the inputs? Again, the inputs should be Xi and Epsilon. So let's try. Does it work? Epsilon here and then Epsilon here, and then Xi. It's the one on the right. Here and then on the left here. Does it work? So here we are inputting in X's. Xi to the left and Xi to the bottom. And to the right we output Epsilons. This one basically. Okay, cool. And the outputs here are gonna be lambdas and phis. Lambdas from the sides. And you know what? We can just take from here because they're inverted basically. And the outputs of these are... wait, I made a mistake. The inputs are the 2 X's and the 2 Epsilons. The inputs are the 2... okay, 2 X's. Come on. Oh, it's left and bottom. It's not transversal anymore. Left and bottom are X's, and the epsilons are top. And the outputs are the 2 phis and the 2... No, the phi is coming from the bottom. The lambda is coming from the left. Oh, and the outputs are kind of transposed, and the inputs are like together. Okay. Okay, so here the phi and here the lambda. Yeah, phi from the top and bottom. Oh, no, lambda is top. This is lambda. Lambda is top and phi from the right. Oh, lambda is left and top and phi is right and bottom. Okay. And let's try them. Let's try them. So I shouldn't have deposited. Oh no, yeah. Let's put the catalysts first. So let's put the gamma and the theta. The gamma and the theta. Gamma and theta here, and test. So we need 2 epsilons and 2 x's, the opposite, 2 epsilons and 2 x's, and let's just check it out. Okay, this has started working. It's slower because this one doesn't have the beacon. The beacon, by the way, if you put the beacon here, it's gonna touch the left ones. No, it's not gonna touch the left ones. There's no way for the beacon. The beacon could be placed here, but the problem is we have a chest in the middle, so it's not able to touch everything. That's fine. We can have the beacon here on the right hand side. Like one here to focus on these, and one, let's say here, let's put it on the same line, and just focus it on these. On these, that's fine. Okay, and now for the last four, like that. Let's prepare. Like that. Cancel out all of these, and let's check out. Oh, by the way, we need robots all the way to the top. No, we have it. We have this blueprint. Bam bam. And here. I'm gonna answer a question at the end. The total amount of spheres to maintain the factory, the total amount of catalysts, but it should be 1 per set of 2 per set of 4. So divide the number of machines by 2 basically. For these it's the same, but I'm not sure for the last ones. I think the last ones don't need any catalysts. The ING operations don't need any catalysts. So let's have a look at this one. I'm not gonna open Excel, just read it to you. It's CFHA. ACFH. ACFH. Let's configure them here. Wait a second. Erase. AC. F, G, H, F, and H. Okay, cool. And let's configure them. So these ones transform zetas and omegas into thetas and gammas. Zetas and omegas. Zeta here, zeta here. And here we had on the right hand side. Yeah, these sort of machines have the item on the right hand side, the needed item on the right hand side. And the zetas and, what did I say? Zetas and omegas. And the zeta is here and here, yeah, and the omegas are gonna be here and here, like that. And finally, it's not even hard to configure them, like it's just inputs and outputs. Zetas on the left and bottom. Left and bottom, and on the right we have omegas. And then as outputs we have, what was it? Theta and gamma. Theta from here. And from the top, I guess, yeah, from the top as well. And a gamma from here. Yeah, instead of epsilons. Okay, cool. And now copy that machine to the other one. Of course, without these. These are going to be different ones. And the final operation is DEGB. So B, D, E, G. B, D, E, F, G. Like this, and again here we lose thetas gammas and we gain zetas omegas. Thetas gammas. Theta here, gamma here, and gamma here on the right hand side. Cool. So, and these need to be inverted. So the gammas are now the inputs. So one input here, one input here. Thetas are inputs to the left. One here and one. Wait, bottom. The gamma is the input to the top. And then the exits are zeta and omega. So here it's gonna be zeta. Normally, I think I did not make mistakes. And omega here. Putting the omega here. Bam and bam. That's it. That's it. Now let's test. Do we have the? Let's start with theta and gammas at the bottom one. This one. 2 thetas and 2 gammas. 2 thetas and 2 gammas. And let's see whether I did not make any mistakes, or whether I did. 2 thetas and 2 gammas. Oh, we need catalysts, of course. Let me also place the beacon while we are at it. Yeah, only one machine needs it on the top, but that's fine. Maybe another one will need, like the right-hand side. The third operation might need them as well. Let's put this one here. Okay, the catalysts are 1 lambda, 1 phi, 1 xi, and 1 epsilon. It's basically the other ones. Interesting. Lambda, phi, xi, and epsilon. Lambda, phi, xi, epsilon. Okay, cool. And these are still not activated. What's going on here? Oh, I think theta and gammas are for the one above. That's fine. Let's put them here. Theta gammas. Okay. Do they give us zetas and omegas? They do. 2 zetas, 2 omegas. And now reverse. 2 zetas, 2 omegas. Into the thetas and gammas. Perfect. Guys, we have the pair operations done. Pair operations are done. And finally, the final ones are gonna be these ones. The third operation. We have balanced individual items 4 times. We have balanced pairs 2 times. So this and this. And finally, we balance quadruplets. So here we have, oh, that's basically 2 machines. That's 2 machines. Yeah, and that's it. That is that is very straightforward. Not even we don't need 4 formulas here. It's very straightforward. Where should we put them? I think the best. Oh, I don't have any more jetpack fuel. The best location for these is kind of at the end. How should we align them, interestingly? We can put one here and one here. Or we can have two machines doing each one. It doesn't matter. I don't think these operations are the most, like, I don't know. That's fine. Let's put them here. Like one here and one here. Kind of the center. This is like the end. The third operations. And these should be the inversion ones. So this one and that one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course they need like chests. Each. I'm not sure about if anyone has any idea about the layout. Let me know. Let me know if you have an idea about the layout. But for now, let's place them like this. And finally, all we want is to we want the requests. We want the requests. We want to automate this. We want to automate the balancing. And the automation is actually straightforward. And by the way, I didn't take these from the system. The buffer chests are like the end. That's yeah. So how to auto? I'm just thinking whether we need to do anything at all here. Whether 100 seconds. What's your speed, by the way? 5.6. Oh wow, these are extremely slow. These are extremely slow. I have just noticed these take 10 seconds and these take 100 seconds. These take 100. So how about actually having the same disposition here in force? Since we need almost 10 times as many to have the same. I think that's gonna be prettier to have this disposition in force. What do you think? Like this, right? The idea is to put them basically like this, and they don't need to switch with each other, but it's just for the niceness. But if you do it like these, then we need to have at least 4 times at once, or else it's not. You know what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And we don't need the features here. Basically, take whatever you can and output whatever you can. The importance, which items are gonna be here is should be done by the logic, and that's it. So let's do the same at the top. For even more niceness, we can actually have 2 of them. They're gonna be kind of the same, but that's fine. The other one, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Maybe we should put this one here. What do you think? Or have 4. That's fine. That is fine. So let's go back to the Excel for a quick. I'm gonna quickly walk you through my thoughts, which are gonna be about the automate. Hold on. About how this should be automatically distributed. So I think the first operation should be done first, because it's the simplest balancing, and before balancing pairs we need to have balance between the items which are part of the pairs, because the pairs take 2 of lambdas and 2 of fees. Do you actually see in the Excel? Yeah, they take 2 lambdas, 2 fees, so we have to have the same amount of 2 lambdas and 2 fees, or else and the result is not going to be properly distributed if we don't have the initial equivalences between these already in the system. And once these are equally distributed, we have the exact same amount of fees, epsilons, x's, and lambdas, we can convert them to the other ones using these. So the steps here have to be taken in a sequence. However, this is also parallelizable, because while we are balancing out lambdas and fees, for example, we can already start making requests for these, but instead, like the only way we can parallelize it is if we don't look at the items individually, but if we look at their sum. So if we look at the sum of lambdas and fees in the system, we don't really care what kind of current imbalance there is between these two. Like the first operation is going to care about this, but not the second one. The second one is only going to be caring about how much lambdas and fees in total we have, as opposed to how much x's and epsilons in total we have. Because it takes from these two and adds up to these two. And their internal balancing, this operation doesn't care. And for this one, I think symmetrically, we need to be looking at the sum of these 4, as opposed to the sum of these four, in order to decide how many items should be pushed into the system. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Let's try. Automating incoming. Automating incoming. So, how should we do this? Again, first operations first. Although the automation should be a bit more complex for the last one. Hey, fastest, welcome back. I'm really curious if this solution will work out in practice once I guess you add in the actual crafting recipes. We shall test that right after. My thought about testing out this solution would be to make an assembler producing, I don't know, the tesseracts right here, which creates the imbalance, and everything should be balanced at once. Will definitely require a good amount of Arcospheres to get it even started. Well, to get it started, we need... that was Quatch's question, and looking at this right now, we just need to take the amount of machines here, without the third operation, and divide it by 2. We have 48 machines, so right now we have 24 Arcospheres in the system. Speaking about Arcospheres, let's have a look at our hauler. I just want to make sure that the Big Bertha Uber here is always doing its job of collecting the spheres. Right now, where is it? Oh, it needs to arrive to the, yeah, ephemeral expanse. Let's put it down and let's start collecting. Place this one here. We can also place the models there. I think I need a new factory planner for that. Space for rocket silo, which should have all the level 3s. You know what? We could have placed level 9 models here. What are we doing? Why not use level 9s to make it so much faster? Let's do it once we are here. And the upgrade a module inserter onto this one. Bam. And now enable it. Should be way faster. But still, yeah, let's put level 9s when it gets back home. Okay. And let's set the automation. So the automation is actually pretty straightforward because it's not, in this case we have laid out all of the different operations exactly how they should work, and all we need to do is to ask each one of these to activate depending on very specific conditions which we know very well about. For example, here it takes 2 lambdas and gives us 2 epsilons, 2 phis. And what we need to do here is to check the lambdas amount and subtract the phis amount from that, and push them. However, I'd like to have all these going only after a difference of at least 2. I think I like them to work by pairs. Only one imbalance shouldn't. It's fine to have like up to 1 unit of difference, right? So only when, actually it's not even 2. Only when there is a 4 of at least 4 difference between lambdas and x's, lambdas and phis, that we want to be converting 2 lambdas into 2 phis. Or is it fine to put like only 1? You know what, maybe it's fine to put only 1. Yeah, let's just put only 1, but still we need to check whether the difference is at least 2 or more. Now let's, actually I have just realized I have never played with, let's put this back here, I have never played with float values. I don't even know if float values exist in Factorio, if they are allowed, or is it only integers. Let me actually do some testing here. So what happens if we divide 3 by 2? And I'll put it, say, as info signal. What happens here? Oops. The answer is 1, right? But now let me check whether this answer is actually 1 exactly, or is it 1.5? Because sometimes IT systems do that. They display you the integer value, but in reality it's a float behind it, so we don't know. Let me quickly compare. We need a comparator. I just want to compare if the value we have here, this 3 divided by 2, which is 1, that is properly equal to. And this is the E signal, so we just need to check whether the E signal is probably equal to 1. And if yes, output green signal. Does it output? Yes, okay, it outputs. So the Factorio doesn't understand floats. Got it. Hey, Moff Mixeshi, how are you doing? So Saturday stream, unfortunately, we were not lucky enough to see you here, but as conclusion, we managed to decompose all of the operations of the Excel into their machines, so we are able to do all the conversions by hand. If you want to know more details, maybe you can watch the part of the stream where I explain last stream where I explain about it, so it's more clear for you. We'll definitely require a good amount of Arcospheres to get it even started. Yeah, we should. So 24 here, 24 to get it started. Parameterize the difference so you can always change it later. Oh, that's a good idea. The buffer. Oh, that's a good idea, Faustus. That's a good idea. So let's configure this as a constant. Let's configure a first constant, which is d for difference, and let's say we want the difference to be at least 1 to begin with. We want the difference to be 1. Okay, let's configure it with 2. I think it's going to be a bit more helpful if it's 2 initially, but we can always set it to 1 later. So let's have this difference to be set right here. And what we want is to have all the chests. By the way, we will need to put more of the pylons because we want to combine the chests. And by the way, let me remove these. We will want to connect all the chests depending on the values. Oh, they're rich. Actually, they're rich, you know. Oh, no, that doesn't matter. Like, we're going to be having a global network here. We're going to be having a global state, and from each global state, we will want to be, you know what? I think it's best if we do something kind of symmetrical here with the pylons. And maybe each pylon needs to be kind of nearby. We will maybe need to have pylons all over the place to properly spread the network. But for now, okay. So we have this signal, which is the minimum difference we want to be between the items. So we need, for this specific machine, let's go machine by machine first. So we want to be doing a subtraction. We want to be doing a subtraction between and by the way, let's put the number of the items in the system already on the red wire. Red wire is always the state of items. Yeah, I was watching yesterday last stream. Hey, how did you find it? Was it a bit too theoretical? I hope it was. It's okay to combine on the Factorio stream to combine some spreadsheets sometimes. And definitely, like some people said yesterday, that they managed to solve it without like using external tools, which I found extremely impressive. Like I wouldn't be able to hold all of the information in my head and was like, okay, this and this need to be combined together to have only this operation. I wouldn't be able to do that. I need external tools. I need to be looking at something like at stuff laid out for me. Or else I wouldn't be able to kind of keep it all in the head and do it without Excel. But I hope it was not too boring. Okay, so here we have all the spheres, and what we need to do here is we want to be subtracting. And you know what? That's really cool because the set request here it doesn't work if it's negative. So we can only be looking at the proper one-way balance. So here we need to subtract lambdas from fees because it's lambdas that we are losing. So the initial condition should be having more lambdas. Lambdas minus fees. That's the first operation, and it's gonna give us an output. Let's keep the output as lambdas because ultimately it's gonna be the number of lambdas we will need to be passing here. And let's also have the D here all along on the green wire because control signals on the green wire, as always in my conventions. There are many ways to solve it. The difference is how efficient it is. You just decided to go full-on efficient. Actually, Kvach said to like during the first Arcosphere stream. I remember Kvach saying he wants a scientific solution, and I obliged. And actually, that's how I like to solve it because I like to have the theory done first before doing practical applications. I like to have a clear idea of what my system is doing, and like your solution/hammer approach is super interesting, but it's like you don't really know what's happening. You kind of just let the system sort it out, right? And I like to be in full control of what like these things are doing. And if you find it, if you say it's the most efficient, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm sure some people came up with like more efficient ones, having less items in the system, or maybe having, I don't know. But after you decompose the formulas, it's basically applying them. So it's not the hardest part. The hardest part was the Excel. My solve was different, but I'm watching closely how you solved it. I think both concepts are good. I will share my my when you finish yours. Definitely, guys. I really want to look at how you did it all. It's really cool. That's really cool. So let me finish this automation. Lambda minus fees. We're having the difference, and now the difference we need to divide it by d. We need to divide the difference by d because divide or subtract. Hold on a second. If you want a difference, at least a difference of 2. No, we need to subtract d first and then divide, right? What if we need a difference of? What if we need a difference of 4? So imagine the difference right now is 3. Imagine the difference is 3. So that means that how many spheres do we want in the system? Well, if d is 1, we want 1 sphere in the system. I think this almost deserves its own table in Excel. Balance out the difference of the between the items, but maybe you can do it in the head. So if the difference of the items is 3, how many lambdas do we want in the system? We want only 1, because then the difference is going to be 1, right? If the difference is 4, with d equals to 1, still with d equals to 1. If the difference is 4, we want 2 items in the system, because after 1 item, the difference is still going to be 2. If the difference is 6, we want 3 items in the system. Okay, so we need to divide the result by 2. In all cases, we need to divide the result by 2. And how do we integrate d to the formula? How do we integrate d to the formula? Let's not use a smart approach. Let's use a brute force approach by just testing out different values and see if it works for us. So here, let's actually connect the red wire. And the result here should be lambda equal to 4, and that's perfect. We can play around with this. Now let's set the divider. Difference 4 is safe solution. Don't make not unnecessary. That's like three negatives in your sentence. It's hard to understand. Don't make not unnecessary loops. I think, yeah, maybe parameterizing d is not is gonna complexify the system too much, and all we want is just it to be as close as possible. Let's see here. Let's just test my English for not making unnecessary loops. I think I understand you. I understood you. My English is also not pretty sometimes. So here we want to divide. Oh, you know what? Let's not divide lambda. Let's divide anything so we can copy paste this more easily. Easier. Divide anything here by. Oh, this is a combinator. We want to divide each. I mean each is okay. Divide each by 2 here. We want to divide each by 2, and this is gonna give us normally the amount of spheres and output each. That's cool. This should give us the output of spheres that we want in the system, again on the red wire. So let's play around with some values. I'm gonna add a constant combinator here just to have some results, and the output is 2 when lambda is 4. This is gonna bring us 2 lambdas in the system, and we are gonna be losing 2 lambdas and gaining 2 x's, and that's exactly what we want. Now let's play around with odd values, and to do so, we're gonna be adding a certain amount of lambdas in the system. So now we have 5. That means 2, right? If we have 5, we're gonna be inputting in 2, and we're gonna be losing 2 and gaining 2. Which is basically is gonna still make difference 1. Yeah, so d equals to 1 is by default this solution. D equals to 1 is by default this solution. Is it worth it to integrate? I mean, a simple way to do the d even without. Oh yeah, basically only do this when the output from this one is above d, and that's it. That's the most easy way. So if this output is 1 basically and d is 1, it means okay, got it. But if d is 2 and the output here is 1, it means just wait a bit. And that's it. And that's actually not that simple. Sorry, it's not that complicated. So we can just do this, have each signal. If it's above D, then basically do the signal, and that's it. So instead of having 2 combinators, we can just have 3, and everything here is good. It's a little bit more advanced, but but this doesn't solve the question, the problem of only having pairs here. Oh, this doesn't solve the problem of having pairs, because the whole point behind D was to, for example, to only input items when we need 2 and not like 5. But you know what, let's go with Moth Mixeshu's suggestion for now, without D. We can implement D later if we find it necessary, right? But even without that, like how the inserters work when they take from the same chest, normally they rotate. One inserter works, then second inserter works. I just know that there's only one small thing to know about. Like this works most of the time, except how can we see the chunks? Except when this chest is kind of on a chunk border, and these inserters belong to different chunks. In this case, they might activate, like one of them will be activating and not the other one. So what's the button to display the chunks? Does anyone know? Oh, F5. Oh, that's cool. F5 displays the chunks. So all we need to be careful about is that these 2 inserters, they need to belong to the same chunk. And we already have a problem here, Houston. Oh no, lambdas belong to the same chunk here. Oh, that's lucky. These belong to the same chunk here. F5 is configurable. Ah, but in this case, F5 is exactly what we want. I'm lucky. So, okay, here we also take from the same chest with inserters from the same chunk. Man, so lucky everywhere. Luck is on our side today. How about this? We take lambda, even like oh, this is the one I looked at first, but it's so lucky. Like we still take from the chest with 2 inserters on the same chunk, which is really cool. Okay, so we should not be having any issues with the inserters being operating in alternance, one after another. Okay, now that this is done, let's finish configurations here. Let's remove this testing thing. How should we put these? Is there a smart allocation for these, like everywhere? Not really, I don't really think so, but it depends on how close the pylon is. So we might want to be kind of putting them. And you know what? Let's... what was it? Alt... there was a button with the dolly picker to rotate it. I don't remember it, but that's fine. We can just remove it, place it like this. So place it in a square formation, so it's a bit more like regular. I'll put here, and then we set it here, and then we do set request. Set request. And here we go. 2 lambdas are in. And now we have 10 lambdas and 11 fees. Perfect. So notice that fee is in the system. Fee is in the system. Fee is in this buffer chest, and that is because we don't have any requester chest requesting from these buffers. Now that's not super ideal, because if you have too many Arcospheres, maybe this chest is going to be completely buffered. So we can only have up to like this chest size of fees. If that happens, I'm not sure what to do. Maybe worst case scenario, we'll have to put some active provider chests for the outputs, like on the side, maybe. Hey, Ragathian. Come back. Wait, Foster said swap the chest to the requesters and push the final output to active provider. Yeah, exactly. That was the initial solution. I went ahead with buffer chests initially because it was prettier to have them at the same time as the requesters and providers, right? But you know, it doesn't really matter to have buffer chests if the assemblers or whatever machines which are creating imbalance use requester chests. By the way, guys, I don't remember what is the priority between a storage and the buffer chest. Which one is getting used in priority if you have a requester? And Ragafian says there's really no reason to cut it that close with the number of spheres buffered through. You could have 10 of every type and it would still not end up being a significant chunk of all the spheres you need to produce. No, to cut it that close with the number of spheres buffered through. I'm not sure I understand exactly what you mean. Which cutting close you're talking about? Like this operation? Is the buffer chest connected to the counter? The buffer chest is connected only to the output of this signal right now. These two assemblers are connected to the counter where we calculate the amount of lambdas which are needed, divided by 2, and push it in the buffer chest. First, use first yellow, red, green. Ah, so green is last. Oh, this changes things. If greens are not used in priority, if chests are used in priority, you shouldn't have bots pull from this chest though, since you can't control the drain of the chests. Oh, we can also put them into on the belts. That's an idea. Unfortunately, it's not possible with how these are organized. We will need to change the organization. But a problem is if they're on the belts, the system doesn't know that they're not in the system, because the system right now reads only it only reads the logic network contents, right? We can connect every single tile of the belt, of course, but if you don't push them out, you could get in a situation where one of the buffers fills with an arcosphere that another needs to transform. It can't request because it's a buffer chest. You need something from another buffer chest. Oh, buffer chests don't request from one another. Oh. The most important part is to not run out of spheres. Having extra for safety in the chest is not an issue. Yeah, I really don't like the fact that spheres are sitting in these chests. Switch to bigger chests and it will work. If we switch to bigger chests, I mean, it depends on how we dispose of these, right? These machines. Like we can always move these machines like one tile. Like we can move this bottom, this left, this top, and this right, and we can have an extra lane for the outputs. But I think active provider solution is better. What do you think? As Fosso suggests, this could be requester chests, and the outputs can all be done into active providers. There is really no reason to keep the outputs in the buffer chests. There is no reason. I just went with that because it looked simple, but I didn't think this through. So if you put them in active provider chests, they're going to be brought back to the storages, and that's going to be it, right? What do you think? Is there a way to... Active providers would empty the chests. Yep, that's what we want. That's what we want. We don't want outputs to be sitting in the machines. So they're going to be brought in storages, and if we have too many spheres, we can just place in outer storage, etc., etc. And this basically this network would have a lot of storage chests with spheres, basically. Logistic network priority of robots. Let's have a small reminder. Let's have a small reminder here. So yes, indeed, active provider chests have priority over storage and buffers. Source. Wait, oh, so which one? Requesters have higher priority, same as the player. First looked up in active provider chest, then player trash slots, then storage chest and buffer chests. So which one of these? First. Requests are assigned first for player logistics, then for requester. And then for buffer. I don't see the information. Sure, active provider that puts it in storage, but you still can't have assemblers that request from storage. You gotta control the consumption using inserters. Oh, you mean when you have a recipe? My idea here would be about the recipe. Let me show you. Let me show you what I was thinking about, and I'd like to hear your feedback, guys. So, for example, after we finish the balancing, I was thinking about having like chests along this long. So as you can see, the network here. What is it? As you can see, you can see, but I'll show like this. So this is the separate network, and we have a small line here. So what if we put the chests which use these spheres all the way along this line, and on this end of this this zone we put requester chests and active provider chests. So requester chests would request spheres into the assembler which needs them. Assembler will do its job, and it will output the spheres back into the system, which are going to be sitting in active provider chests. They can be brought on with bots, put in the storages, and then everything is going to be distributed. Point is, if we only ever have storages and requesters, it shouldn't be a problem, right? You gotta control the consumption using inserters. It all depends on proximity to the bots. Yes, because I remember that having bots, like whenever bots pick up the item, it disappears from the count. Like logistic network contents do not count the items carried by the robots. Using requester chests with selected using buffer chest isn't a good solution. Problem is, okay, you know what? Let's test it out. Let's test out whether the items are taken in priority from a buffer chest or from a. You know what? Yeah, don't even need to look the wiki. Let's test it out. So imagine we have. Okay, not request. We have one theta here, and do we have? Yeah, we have some thetas here. So now let's put a requester chest with a request from buffer chest, and let's ask for a theta and see where it comes from. It comes from the buffer, right? Or no? Or is it proximity thing that Ragatian was talking about? Is the proximity thing? It is a proximity thing. Okay, I understand now. I understand the proximity. Using a requester chest with select buffer. Yeah. A requester for crafting can request from the buffer chest. However, if you need to transform an Arcosphere twice to balance overall, it will deadlock as buffer cannot request from buffer. Yeah, that's you have pointed it out earlier, and I really think that's an issue here as well, because if they're sitting in the buffer, they cannot be converted back into other buffer chests. Yeah, that should work. Then you could wire up an inverted smart loader circuit to push out all but few of which spheres. So yeah, if you have them all sit in storage chests, it's no problem, right? It's no problem. The balancing could will be done automatically, and it should be good. It should be good. And keep in mind that's only a mega station here for like initial balancing, and we're gonna be building smaller like exact balancing stations for different recipes elsewhere. You could wire an inverted smart loader circuit to push out all but few of which spheres. Like as long as they all belong in a say storage chest in the system, they should be automatically balanced. That's what I'm getting it. Easier to just make a sushi belt transport. Sushi belt transport that stores the spheres around and have chests. The chest pick up the number they need. Here my thought would be to just have the distribution based on the global storage setup. Like having items on belts, I don't really see how. Like having items on belts would not have them count as part of the system. So they would be in some kind of invisible buffer until they get into the chest. So it could mess up with the global system, global network we have. Of course, we could always wire each and every single tile of the belt and say read belt contents in hold mode, but I don't think it's easier. But I fail to see why the solution I'm thinking about is not gonna be working. For example, if we have as many chests as we needed, as many storage chests as we needed for the spheres, and have these be only requesters, and have some active providers, why would that not work? Why would that not work? I think it would work, no? And having a requester here and having a active provider here, and the requester would, for example, if this is a say Spheres disappear from the buffer momentarily when the bot picks them up. Yeah, that will just create a small imbalance, a small temporary imbalance, but that's fine, I think. And also remember the calculation here. Remember how the spheres are inserted into the balancers. For example, we have 14. Imagine we have 14 lambdas and 10 phis. This system subtracts and divides by 2. So it's gonna say take 2 lambdas and push them into this chest. So the lambda count is gonna be 12 and not 14 anymore. And the phis count is still gonna be 10. But the 2 chests gonna arrive here. The counter will go back to 14. And that's fine, because the set request, like while the bots are flying, the set request should be at 1 and not 2 anymore. But that is fine, because the bots have like 1 is less than 2, right? No more actions are going to be triggered. The items are going to be brought here and balanced out. And that's it. So it's fine if they disappear. It will just make the automatic set request count be lower, but it won't mess up the system. Methinks. Or on the return trip, the bots are going to pick them up, and that might create an additional imbalance. Oh, that might create an additional imbalance. Oh, that's what you mean by... Okay, I understand what you mean. You're talking about the return trip. Like, for example, here bots will pick phis, and after doing so, phis number is going to jump to 7. So one bot is going to be coming and putting lambdas here, but we know that bots have still picked them out. I understand what you're saying now. The return trip into the chests. So feeding the system is not a problem. The problem is putting items back into the system. Man, if only buffer chests were prioritized properly over the over the storages. If only it was the case, then it would be fine. And if only they could request from one another. In that case, how should we do it? Well, a solution would be to create a path, for a belt, and as you say, use inserters to output the items. Hello, Zingasm. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Mad Lab. Hello. If you need real free and high quality service to increase your view. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was like, hey, someone says something useful. Damn it. He got me. He got me with the initial message. Damn, bots get smarter every day. The factory is growing, but factory is growing as well. So how should we do it? How should we do it? Is it important that when bots pick the items, they're gonna be decreased? Okay, imagine bots. A bot picks these items. Yeah, the real life bots are smarter than Factorio ones. Indeed, completely. So the bot picks these 2 items, and while they're flying, phi number drops to 7. And oops, I almost deconstructed it. Then a bot is going to be picking 1 more lambda. Is going to bring it to the system, and then the bots finish putting these items back. The phi number is going to be going up to like 13. Oh wait, 7, back to 9, and lambda is still going to be at 8. It's still going to be at 8, and you know what? 8 to 9, it's not important. I mean, are we going to be having machines running non-stop if that's the case? Like, we're going to be having this machine and this machine at the time. They're basically going to be running non-stop, kind of trying to both tend towards the balance, and the imbalance is going to be, small imbalance is going to be happening while bots are bringing stuff to the system. That's that might be what's happening. What can happen? Test it out, create an imbalance manually, and then turn it on. Yeah, you know what? Let's. The factory has to grow. Hey, Trupan! I watched a couple of your videos. Big fan. Welcome. Create an imbalance. Await the lock again. Okay, guys, you know what? Let's try to configure all of it as is and see whether the small imbalance created when the bots take the items out is gonna be making so that this factory is running non-stop. Let's try it out. Hey, let's try it out. It's not exactly a problem to try it out because, well, this is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. But what we need to fix is the fact that these output to the active provider chests. That's like one fix we need to do. Yeah, that's pretty easy. None of the outputs here have. Wait. This and this, the bottom chests. Ah, that's fine. Basically, pick this one and put it here. Pick this one and put it here. Hey, welcome. Andy Gaming, how are you doing? Why are these inserters going back from Yellow Warehouse back to the Arcosphere creators? Oh, this? Well, that's because what inserters are you talking about? I don't see what you mean. what are you talking about? Okay, so let's fix it to be like this. Let's fix it to be like this. Struggling with AC and K2 both installed. Perfection. Yeah. By the way, guys, did they finish solving the issues of like? Was it you, Faustus, who was talking about small compatibility issues between AC and new version of AC and K2? Like it was still kind of work in progress. Let's go to the mall. I need fuel. I need the chests. We need everything. Let's go to the mall. Activate the mall mode and let's fly. Chef's kiss. K2 AC is looking much better now. Ah. That's really cool. That's really cool. Maybe once we finish this playthrough, it's gonna be perfectly balanced as all things should be, and we can start the K2AC playthrough. Maybe. It's working, but it's hard. Holy hell! Hard because of the amount of recipes, right? Because from what I understand, Factorio creates some wide complexity where you have more recipes, but it doesn't create deep complexity on a level of space exploration. Like you have more resources, you have more processing plants. Maybe more distribution, which makes it harder. There is no incompatibilities as far as I know. Ah, so it's completely good, right? AC is much harder as well, early to mid game. Not having logistic requests early is interesting. Some people might not like it. Some people might not like it, definitely. We need to build the chests. Let's build more Equestria chests here. Or yeah, let's go with the solution with active provider chests, and let's see whether the problem of like small jumps in numbers is gonna be too big of a problem or not. Because maybe like worst case scenario is that all of these Arcosphere Balancers are kind of gonna be working like kind of non-stop if the imbalance is like juggling between the middle value, but it's not that big of a deal. Because as soon as there is a real imbalance, then one of them are going to be working more than others. You know, so it might not be too big of a deal. Like worst case scenario is consumption of the consumption of more power. But no, another problem is, oh yeah, as Rogatian was saying, we might be using some Arcospheres because of the imbalance constantly being a thing. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I didn't land at a good location. This is our personal transportation platform. It's here. If you go to military before killing a biter base, you don't need the military science yet. If you get to military before killing a base. Ah. Well, everyone experiences games differently. What might be easy for you might be hard for someone else. That is very true. That is very true. People have different challenges depending on their personal experiences, basically. Some things they know how to do, which are easier. Some things they need to figure out, and it's not the same for everyone. Like some people have a perfect like organization of like Factorio factories, right? And some people don't have the perfect organization, but they are good at solving other problems. So they have the organizational issues, for example. Okay, how? Yeah, okay. So let's just put active radar chests everywhere and try it out. You know what? Let's even put them a bit closer, because with the current space organization, we don't really have We don't really have the possibility to evacuate these items on the belt as much as I would like. I would have liked. But let's see. Let's see. So here we go. These are the lambdas. Oops. Then oh, this is a bit special. So let's do this first. The thetas are gonna go here. Should we put the chests first everywhere? Okay, let's do that. It's gonna be a bit easier. Oh, there's a beacon here. There is a beacon here, so we're not gonna be able to. Why? There needs to be an exception here. There needs to be an exception for this chest output here and this chest output here. You know what? This could output here. Oh my god. How do you feel about C-block panel? I feel like they're harder than space exploration. Oh. Definitely take more time. Isn't there only one output per cluster? There is only one output per cluster. Unfortunately, the output is produced by the opposite facilities, the opposite gravimetrics, right? And the input is produced by the opposite, is taken in by the opposite facilities as well. So, unfortunately, oh! I have an idea. I do get an idea. I do have a nice idea. Oh, okay, okay, Faustus, look at this. You have made me realize that we can do this. Kinda like this. Oh, and in that case, we might output the items back with the smart logistics. Oh, no, but in that case, how are we gonna be able to output this one with a filter? We don't have a long-handed filter mini loader to put it to the middle. You know, that's fine. That's fine for now. That's fine for now. So let's fix everything. Man, I really want to see the system flowing. I really want to see the system flowing. Input one catalyst, output one conversion. Yeah, but still the outputs are from the opposite ones, right? So, and the inputs are it's this one, then it's this one, then it's back, and then it's back. Guys, let's see the things flow. Bam, bam. Move it one tile below, right here. Let's have these. Bam, bam. Wait. Yeah, correct. And then the final two. C-block has more items per recipe, and there is logistical challenge added through the fast beacons. It just doesn't have that. Oh. I don't think I'll ever have the patience to do Panodon. It doesn't look very interesting, like compared to space exploration. Like, you know, space exploration is like, ooh, space, different planets, and whatnot. Panodon is just like raise your animals. No, it's I don't give it justice by saying that, but it's still it's a bit. The complexity is not the one I like to. And Pi goes crazy with recipe dependencies, so it's basically like doing this puzzle but with several dozens of... Oh, they have a puzzle which is similar to this with the feedback loops. Like huge feedback loops. C-block has way too many recipes unlocked in the beginning, so you can never find anything. It's not made clear what precedes what, so you constantly have to build recipes chains in Hell Mod Factory Planner. I think we're done with the first four. We're done with the first four. We need to finish the second operation, as I call it. And here, the second operation is actually pretty. I mean, it's the same. We have just all the machines have their outputs, and that's it. All the machines have their outputs, just like that, and we're good. Oops. Okay, let's get these going. Lambdas, and then oh god, there's a fly. And then epsilon, not epsilons, phis right here. And here we go with thetas and gammas. And finally, we go with zetas. And omegas. Okay, this is done. Oh, this as well. This doesn't need any kind of special hands, as the outputs are done here. Bam, bam. Like this, and we can just copy them. Done, done, done. Active provider chests reworked. Reworked. Just checking whether all of these have yes, 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 yes. Normally I had not make mistakes, but don't quote me on that. That's not the thing. Explain it, please. Well, Docker Explosive, for the theory, I invite you to check out the Excel. I invite you to check out the previous VOD and the Excel. It's really long to explain. It's hard to explain it once again because it takes time. It takes time. But basically, what's happening is that we have. Okay, let me go through it in 1 minute, very quickly. Just show you the idea behind all of this. Basically, what we did was to lay down all the formulas in the Excel, and we have the 4 items, the 8 items, and the operations, and these are the big operations, the inversing ones. And what we have noticed after like simplifying the values, that these operations lead to these simplifications, and these simplifications lead to these simplifications. And so here we have a first operation where lambdas and fees, basically you can see that they are completely equivalent. We can easily switch from lambdas to fees, and for every single item. Then there's the second operation where we have pairs. You can see that you can simplify both lambda fees into epsilon x's, like losing 2 from here and gaining 2 here, and doing the opposite at the same time. So this pair is equivalent to this pair, and same for the other ones. And that makes it that creates pair equivalences. And finally, with the provided I and j, the big conversion operations, we have the quadruplets equivalent, where these 4 are equivalent to these 4. And by proceeding like that, you can eliminate all discrepancies at all levels by applying these sets of formulas for the first operation, these for the second, and these 2 for the third. And that is exactly what we did. That is exactly what we did here. As you can see, 4 of these are one operation, and we had here what I have selected are the 8 operations, the 8 processings of the first operation. Then, oops, here what I have selected now is the 4 operations of the second's operations for transformations. They all use 4 machines. And then here are the last ones, which are provided by the game, and these are the same basically. I just put 4 of them because one of them takes, I've noticed, 100 seconds to do, as opposed to these ones which take only 10 seconds. So I figured that having 4 of them is going to make things faster if we have too many items here. And that's basically it. That's basically it. That's for the theory. That's for the theory. And now we're trying to automate the conversion, and look where deadlocks get us. Look where the deadlocks can get us. So let's get the fees out of the system. They have been converted. Let's put them here. Put everything here. And finally, let's finish the logic. And the logic is pretty simple for at least for these 4. What we need to do, and you know what, we need balance like everywhere. Balance are required everywhere just to pass the information. How about just having them? I'm gonna copy with the set request at the same time. No, set request can. It's a bit hard. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it like that, because this way we're gonna be able to copy once, and no items should be transferred yet, because this. Oops, it's not what I meant. I didn't mean to include these and these, for that matter. Only these, just so we have the links. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, and bam. So now we have these for all the first operations, and all we need to do now is to configure the appropriate items. Here is lambdas minus fees into lambdas. That's what this one, where we want to lose lambdas, and here we want to lose fees. So we're doing the opposite. We're doing fees minus lambdas, and this gives us the amount of fees to work with, divide by 2, and set the request. Now here is losing zetas and gaining epsilons. So, oh, not zetas, x's. Oh my god, I have problem with this letter, the one which gives me problems. X's minus epsilons, outputting x's, because these are the ones we want to lose. Here is the opposite. Epsilons minus x's giving us epsilons. There is a recipe that more reference. Yeah, the explanation. Oh, yeah, sorry. If you want me to repost the link, I can. Yeah, it's this one. You are correct. It's the one. If you want me to repost it, I can do it anytime. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And I have explained it already tons of times during the previous stream as well. Epsilons get us x's. Yes, and fine. We have 4 more to go. So here we have zetas give us gammas. Zetas minus gammas. Oh, sorry, omegas. Into zetas. The zetas are the ones we want. We get out omegas. Here is the opposite. We want the omegas. Omega minus zeta into omega. Just checking. And finally, here we have thetas giving us gammas. Thetas minus gammas giving us thetas. Right? And here is the opposite. Gammas minus, minus theta giving theta. Okay. Oh, sorry, giving gamma. Oh my god, almost made a mistake. Okay, since I almost made a mistake here, let me check that there is no mistake there. The left and bottom should be the same. Left bottom, left bottom, left bottom. Left bottom. Okay, good. Good, here we go, here we go. The balancing, oh, of course, we need to configure these with red wires. To connect them. Red wires contain the state of the system. So many wires here, oh my god. And here we go, here we go. The balancing has begun. The balancing has begun. As you can see, these we should be striking a balance between between 4 of the singletons. Wait, gammas are the equivalents to which ones? Gammas are thetas. Gammas are equivalents to thetas, so we should be having... We have 11 thetas and 9 gammas. Oh, 10 gammas. Okay, good. Guys, the balance has been stricken between all the pairs, which is very exciting. This is basically showing that these kind of work. It says you clicked on K1. Oh yeah, I have the cursor on K1. I'm gonna move it to A1. The balance has been stricken. Hooray! Now let's do the same for the pairs. Now this is a bit more complicated. Nice, GG, thanks. But bear in mind, this is just the balance between 2 items. This is the easiest one. It's the easiest one between 2 items, between lambdas fees, x's epsilons, zetas omegas, and thetas and gammas. By the way, no, thetas and gammas, we still have 1. Why do we have a theta here in the request? Oh, it's in the buffer chest. Hold on, why do we have a theta in the buffer chest here? I'll put it here. What is the logistics thing there? Okay, no, it's good now. Now it's good. Lambdas and fees. Yeah, also everything is good. Everything is good. It changed to 1. Yeah, it's me moving the cursor because I'm on this file as well. So when you view this file, you are also viewing my my current cursor at the file. So here is a bit different. And let me open up the Excel. Speaking of which, here what we want to do is we want to so this. Okay, ignore these. First of all, ignore these. Like, these don't matter. We can hide them. Like, this is a stepping stone to get us these basically. And these are done. Now let's do these. And to do these, again, we don't want to look individually at lambdas. We want to look at the sum of lambdas and fees, as opposed to the sum of x's and epsilons. Because if you look at the sum, we don't care about the imbalance between lambdas and fees. We don't care. It's handled by this operation, and it's completely separate from this problem. Even if we have 10 lambdas and only 2 fees, the sum is going to be the same as having 6 and 6. So we need to sum these up, and we need to subtract the sum of these, right? And do we need to divide by 2 or by 4 in that case? Do we need to divide by 2? Imagine we have sum of lambdas and phis being at 10 and these being at 6, so we have 4 difference. If we transform, if we put 2. Oh no, guys, we need to be really careful of not putting only 1, because putting only 1 item, only 1 lambda and only 1 phi is not gonna work. It's not gonna work because we need 2 of them. Because we need 2 of them at once. Oh, this is a bit more complicated, and you know what? We might actually want to be doing the same here. We might actually want to be doing the same here. And right now we're dividing the difference by 2, which in case of an odd number can give us the odd transformation. How about dividing it all by 4? Divide by the difference by 4 and multiplying it by 2, because after the rounding down, for example, if we have 3 difference, divide by 2 is going to give us 1, multiply by 2 is going to give us 2, so 2 transformations. In case of 4, no, sorry, 3 divided by 4 is 1, and multiplied by 2 is 2. Oh no, in that case, hold on. We only need to do that when it's above or equal to 4. When it's above or equal to 4, divide by 4. When it's above or equal to 4, we need to divide by 4. Here, I just realized that we want basically we want them always go by 2 here and here, because if you have only 1, it might not output the phi here, because this machine is the second step of the operation. The operations go like this. The lambda, in this case, lambdas needs to be transformed into phis, right? So lambdas are inserted in these 2 machines, but if we only have 1 lambda here, it's going to be inserted here. So like we have omega, that's... Wait, there is an imbalance here. What's going on? Oh, that happened because we had only 1 lambda. Yeah, indeed, that happened because we had only 1 lambda. It has been the imbalance has already been not imbalance, but not the consumption we wanted have been changed, and now we have it back. And now, yeah, we can see them kind of working too much, because of the robots flying and keeping the items in their hands while flying is not contributing towards the count. Okay, so how about changing this? First, we need to check whether it's above or equal to 4 at least to start the input, and then we divide it all by 4 and multiply it by 2. So let's think. If it's 4, it's going to give us 2. If it's 5, it's going to give us 2. If it's 6, it's still going to give us 2 all the way until we have 8. And if it's 8 divided by 4, 2 is we're gonna pick 4, and that's good. Yeah, okay, cool. It's gonna be a bit more complicated in that case. It's gonna be slightly more complicated here. So first of all, we need to check whether the lambdas are above. It's not even gonna work with. Let's assume that this beacon is placed, this panel is placed here as for all of the other ones. I'm just sitting here waiting for GMS to get tired of bots not counting items and convert the entire Arcosphere operation to using belts with circuits attached to every section. That might happen. That definitely can happen, and that's exactly what Rathian was pointing out. Stupid bots, you messed up my math. But as I explained, like the only downside of having bots not counting items is that sometimes we might be having useless operations going where we are trying to tend towards the balance, right? For example, we might go overboard, and then the bots will bring the items to go down and then go up and then go down. You know, like the worst case scenario is that the machines are going to be running a bit too much. But that's not too big of a deal, I think. Yes, that is why the variable d. Oh, okay. So I didn't understand your idea of the usage of the variable. It's basically the limit. You know what? Let's go ahead and set this limit. Indeed, I think I understand what you mean. Let's make a good logic here. So we're going to be having the variable, which is going to be basically determining how much difference we can allow. And I didn't think about using it this way first. I thought about basically having the robots moving items by 1, by 2, by 3, or by 4, right? So let's still have d. Let's Let's set D here to, I'm thinking about 2 or maybe 4. Let's have 2 to begin with. And the condition here is gonna be this operator is gonna be checking whether we have whether the difference is above 4 plus D. Wait. Uh, 4 plus D. How should we do it? I think we can use arithmetic one, and we can output here D, and we can add it up to the one coming from the system. So this is gonna be right now outputting 1. Oh, we need to divide. Oh, that's the difference. It became a little bit complicated. A little bit complicated. So what we need to do is we need to divide everything by 4 first, because we want operations to only be using pairs. So divide by 4 output everything, and then the result of this should be inputted into the system, where it's gonna be multiplying everything by 2. Divide by 4, multiplied by 2, just to avoid, like, to take care of the rounding errors. And this should give us only sets of 2, because it's rounding operation of after the division of 4 multiplied by 2, so only 2, 4, or more, etc. And here we have the difference, which outputs D. And how about simply checking, like adding up the D's coming from this difference and the global network at the same time? How about doing that? And by the way, let me also draw the green wire across everything here, because D is on the green wire as per conventions. Okay, now I understand your variable D here, and we want, let's try, we're going to be adding, okay, not adding D in this case, because we have the D which is automatically added to the one coming from the system, like this, and the input D here is 3 because it's 1 plus this. In that case, we need to put it at 4, because we want a difference of 4 at least. A difference of 4 at least. Okay, in that case, it shouldn't be math, it should be a comparator. We are going to be basically... Yeah, and I think it's done. I think it's done. So, oops. Add D to these. And here we are only going to be... Wait, subtract? Do we need to subtract this from D? No, never mind, never mind. These are still lambdas. These are still lambdas. And this is actually where they're gonna be compared. So this should be a red wire. And the green wire here should only go to here. So the result of this operation does not come onto the global network. We don't care about that. And here we're going to be basically checking whether this difference of lambdas. So here we need to have the lambda. We need to have the lambda specified. We are going to be checking whether this difference calculated between lambdas and phis is greater than D. Is greater than D. Greater or equal. Greater or equal than D. And in that case, only in that case when the difference is high enough, we are going to be outputting the input count of lambdas. Wait a second, that's not good, because this is a green wire. It's a green wire which contains all of the lambdas, right? Oh, no. Oh, okay. And guys, I have been saved. I have been saved by the fact, by my conventions. I have been saved by my conventions. The green wire contains only D. And it's the red wire which contains the state of items. And here we want to use only the control signals, so we connect the green wire. So we don't have all the lambdas on the red wire in the system. The only lambdas here are here. And here we go. Because the input D is 4. The input D is 4 lambdas. Lambda's difference here is... Lambda output is 1. Oh no! Oh no! This... Oh yeah. Lambda's difference is 1, d is 4, this number is not more or equal to 4, and then, therefore, nothing is being outputted. And that's it. It's done, guys. It's done. There's a dirt simple version of this as well. You use a single container that everyone grabs from and asserts to, and you run the recipes that happen to match the deviation from the average, while never grabbing a sphere if you have less than 10 of that type. When you say everyone, I have an impression you did your balancing using belts, right? Using belts and not bots. When you say everyone, you mean all of these, right? In our case, it's all handled by the bots, so it's a bit hard to have a chest where all of them pull items from. You mean all the recipes? All the recipes grab from a single chest. Oh, you mean this chest? You mean this chest? Ah. I mean direct inserting to a landing pad. Oh, using a landing pad is a mega big chest. Oh, interesting. And you are a recipe that happened to match the deviation from the average while never grabbing a sphere. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you don't even need to. If you have all of them around like a one location, then you don't need to calculate this. I see. We're here. We're almost done here. We're almost done. So this should all be done. So let's put it everywhere and let's try it. It should be working. It should be working until when it's not. So let's. How should we copy that? If we copy it like this, we still need to kind of remove this one first. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. Let's. Okay, I think the idea here, because this one is preserved, however, it's the only one which is preserved. I'm gonna copy this again without this, and all the hands, and without this one as well. Yeah, without this one as well, because this one is preserved. And I'm gonna delete this one because this one is changing, and that should allow us to copy paste it easily. Okay. So here we go. All we need to do after finishing this is connecting the wires between this and the pylon. Oh, and also changing the letter on the left-hand side, like this. So all we need to do now is to change here. Lambdas become phys. I do agree there must be like easier solutions to that, but here we like overcomplicating. Here are epsilons. I understand what you meant. Yeah, could have been easier, but this is the kind of thing you need to realize initially and base your design around it, right? At this stage, it's easier to fix what we have to have it work, than to redo everything, I guess. Although it could be done. It could be done. Okay, let's not keep Faustus waiting for too long. Omegas, these here. All we need to do now is to connect the wires. So there is the pylon giving green here, and a red one goes here. Let's connect the red ones first. And the greens. Oops, this one was connected. Why I have the impression that I didn't connect... oh yeah, of course, that's why. There was a top one as well. Yeah, the reason yours is complex is because you're splitting up the sphere balancing into groups. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of basically apply all the formulas of the the composition. I'm in full control of which balancing is happening where, and the advantage of this solution is that it's pretty easy to spot if something is wrong and fix it at this location. I know exactly which what everything corresponds to. Like this is the balancing of singletons, this is the balancing of pairs. So yeah, but it might be a bit too complex in terms of number of machines, but in reality it's just formulas. It's just formulas. You can indeed have only one only one big chest, and having 8 gravimetric facility, each one with their own all the 8 basic formulas, and then activate the ones you want to be activating. But it might become hard. I'm not sure. It sounds hard to tell which ones need to activate, unless you brute force. Okay, let's proceed with. So this should be done. Let me create an imbalance and let's see whether it's fixed. I'm gonna pick all the lambdas. Look at this. I'm gonna pick all the lambdas from the chest. And now we have no lambdas, and so it should try to convert fees into lambdas. And I'm also gonna put lambdas back now. And now it should convert lambdas back to fees using this one. We just brute force by setting into condition to the recipe inputs and outputs. Yeah, I see. The brute force solution, kinda, yeah. But this one is faster, right? You agree that this one would be faster. It's a faster balancing because of just because of the sheer amount of machines that are here to help balancing stuff. Now, why do we have 14 lambdas and 7 fees? What's going on here? Oh, and by the way, I didn't even check whether all the catalysts were properly. Okay, here is a small imbalance where we need to add one more epsilon. Let me fix this first. Basically, what happened is there was an odd amount of items inserted here, which created a not imbalance, but the catalysts not return to their initial positions. So we need to fix all of the machines which run an odd number of times, and that's it. Now this is fixed. Now from now on, all of these have catalysts as inputs, and they should be running an even amount of times. Yes, that's good. Okay, so here we go. Now let's see why fees and lambdas are still not properly fixed. That should be a condition issue. So we want to convert lambdas into fees, and what's the results here? Output is 2. So wait. All the lambdas. Hold on. We have. Wait, it sees 9 lambdas, and it sees 7 fees. Oops. On the right, it sees 9 lambdas and 7 fees, but here we see 15 lambdas and 7 fees. So what's wrong? Oh, here we are reading chest values, and here we are reading global network. Here we are reading global network. It's not the same. So there must be items which are somewhere, and that somewhere is not the chests. Let's see. In the chest here we have 9 lambdas. Indeed, in the chest we have 9 lambdas. Oh, and in this one we have 6 lambdas. Okay, mistake is here. Is that this one should not be reading from the chest. It should be reading from the roboport. I was only reading the amount of items in the chest and not in both chests, because as you can see we have lambdas here. It should be reading a roboport. Okay, now it should be good. 10, 11. Okay, the difference of 2 exists, and it should only become a difference of 4 before the other operation is even considered. Wait, no, you have just inputted one of the items here. How? Wait, what? Shouldn't be possible, this. We are multiplying by 2. How did you put only one item here? I saw only one fee line here. Because now after this balancing, these two have the proper... like the initial state is when the left and right machines have their catalysts inside. That's the initial state. There's that way there's no reasoning involved, yeah. Yours can work with smaller buffers, but it's also limited in layout, while in the large container can be substituted by a memory cell and become even faster than this can be. I don't have enough insight, I think, just yet into speed and efficiency, so cannot say, but I'll trust you on that. I'll trust you on that. Trust you on that. So what's going on here? Okay, everything here is balanced, and I don't know why this has been set as 1, because 1 should never be possible. It should always be a number multiplied by 2, so it should always be an even number here of logistics requests. So not sure why. Okay, but that's not a big deal. Let's see for these. That's more interesting. And for these, let's also bring a pylon here. For these, what we want is we want to sum lambdas and fees and compare them. Let's do it like this. We're gonna be summing lambdas. And you know what? Let's use our artificial symbols. No, that's not exactly good. Oh! Hold on. We don't only need to sum lambdas and fees, but we also need to request the same amount of lambdas and fees. We need to request the exact same amount of lambdas and fees. So we need to kind of go through a transitional average between two. Going through an average between lambdas and fees. But let's say it. Let's call it a letter. Let's call it a. Let's say. By the way, is it okay to put it here? Do we have any beacon here? No, we don't. Okay, cool. So let's call it A. Let's call it A, and we're gonna be doing A minus B, lambda plus fees, as opposed to x's and epsilons. Oops. Here is a xi plus epsilon. And here is going to be B. So we only want to be running this while A is above B, but using the same logic, we need to have these two, because we only want to be having two at once. And at the end here, we want to be multiplying this number by both lambdas and fees. Okay, so let's go ahead and have the difference being calculated here. So we do this basically. We do this between. So we want this machine should be running when there is more A's than B's. So we do A minus B, and we output C. Go full math here. Bam, 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 bam. Outputted C, and we also need to integrate D here somewhere. And that's really cool that D is not A and B and C, but it's the next one. So we only want these to be working when C is above or equal to D. D is the limiter. And then we output. What did we output? Oh, we output the number itself, right? We did output number itself. So yeah, let's output C. When C is above or equal to D, we output C, and then the C here. And then so this one needs the green from here because it compares. It needs the green from here, and also let's connect the greens and reds. Greens and red. Unfortunately, this is not very testable right now because we have the balance between the sets, but that's fine. Oh, we can also test it by. Okay, let's not have the red coming in from here just yet. Let's have the red coming in from a combinator where we can be testing out the requests. Oops. There are pros and cons to each solution. GMS is highly efficient in conversion, but highly inefficient in travel time. That is true. That is true. Like the traveling is, but you know, fastest. Robot worker speed research is infinite. The largest solution is an efficient conversion, but efficient travel time there is none. Yeah. The maintenance of GMS solution is also undesirable as any time you need to change how it works, you have to edit 20,000 command. Yeah, but the thing is, you shouldn't be having to do that. You shouldn't be having to edit them all. Like, it's done once, unless you make a mistake while designing it, which I'm doing right now. I might make mistakes, but once it's all designed, there should be no need to change anything. You mean the robot worker infinite research that you are not researching? Exactly, that one. Meaning a solution like this is kind of future proof. Like it gets better and better with infinite researches, right? So let's see how it goes here. We don't have any data, so we cannot really check. But here what's happening is that that's not the end of it just yet, because we need to we now have the C, which is the difference, and C has been multiplied by 2. But what we need to do here is, oh, you know what? Instead of outputting C, we can go with one of those. And by the way, should be divided by 2 or by oh, hold on a second. You know what? Let's not go with A, B, and C. Let's decide at one of these being the main one, and we shall copy it to the other one. So that's gonna give us that's gonna reduce the number the required need of combinators by 1. As we lack some space here. So the lambda is going to be the main one for the input, and the xz is going to be the main one for the output. And so we are going to be comparing lambdas minus, and keep in mind here, lambda is not exactly the amount of lambda, but it's the sum of both. It represents the sum of both. Lambdas minus xz. The output here, oh, it's the C that we want. What did we output here? We have outputted the lambda. Okay, let's output lambda. So and here again we did lambda minus xz, the difference, and here lambda became the difference. So lambda carries with it basically its value kind of slowly shifts the meaning across this chain of combinators, but it's fine because it's going to be easier at the end. We're going to be only having one combinator, and here we're comparing the lambda. Here we're comparing the lambda to D, and we're outputting lambda itself. I'm going to test it all out, so it's going to be clear after testing. We fixed Factorio procedures, so why not start researching? Hey, you're right. Idle factory is a shameful thing. Yeah, shameful thing has been around. Oh, let's do that. Let's do the white area beacons. Shall we? Hey, let's go! The white area beacons. So, here we have the lambdas should represent the demand, and all we need to do here is to kinda, you know what, since we lack some space, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this one like this, and this one like this, so we have a space for the last one combinator. And the last one combinator, basically, this should put number of lambdas. Let's have some testing here. Imagine we have 16 lambdas, and let's have 16 total. Let's have 8 lambdas, and let's have 8 fees. It doesn't matter because here is the sum. 8 fees, and let's also have 4 epsilons and 4 x's. Oof, surprised me. We have it. We have the research. Let's do the factory spaceship. I like having the idea of having bigger ships. Although, is there anything which is more important? I mean, we could always do the catalogs, because the catalogs is the next big thing. So let's do catalogs and science itself. Science level 3 first. So once it's done, we can slowly work towards that. And once it's done, what can we do? This uses level 1s. The belts. The belts again, while we are producing them, I'd like to not research them. Because it's pointless to have it researched and not produced. Any passive stuff is good. Yeah, let's go factory spaceships. We can maybe afford bigger spaceships, and this is level 3, right? So yeah, we need to wait. But let's have this one at least. How much does it give us? 500. It's not good, but it's not bad. I mean, it's not that many, but it's okay. Here we go. What is the result here? What's the result? The result is apparently oh, we need to connect it, of course. Let's connect it to this one pylon. So the result is output 16 of lambdas, because indeed lambda. Oh, I forgot to put the epsilons here. 4 epsilons. So lambdas are at 16 and x's are at 8. They are both the sums of their items. Cool. And then there is this one which makes the difference between the sum of both. In terms of lambdas. So lambdas are 8, and here, if lambdas are above 4, which they are, we are outputting them into the system, dividing them by 4 and multiplying them by 2. So lambda is 4. Is it correct to have lambda 4, or do we need to adjust the value? After transforming 4 of them, this is going to be brought to 4. Oh, that's not correct. That's not correct, guys. Because we don't want 4 transformations, but because the idea here is to have what we need is half of lambdas and half of x's, right? But the idea is after this chain, we have the amount of lambdas we need to insert here, and that's the point. However, the idea is that we need twice as many because it's doubles. So let's divide it by 8. Let's divide the amount of 8 by 8 and multiply it by 2. And this should give us, exactly, it should give us 2 now and not 1. So it's not going to be balanced until we have these, at least this difference. The pairs are not going to be balanced until at least we have this difference. And that is going to be basically taking 2 lambdas to phase, which is going to be bringing the numbers of both to 6. And it's going to producing us 2 epsilons and 2 x's, which is going to be bringing the number of these to 6 as well. And that's like difference of 8 in the sums is the minimum amount that we can that we want to handle. It's the minimum amount, and that's why we divide by 8. Divided by 8 and then multiply by 2, because we need 2 of each. So that's good. That's good. All we need to do here is to basically add the amount of lambdas. Not even add. Basically, we are going to be taking amount of lambdas we have, multiplying it by 1, and it's going to be outputting us the amount of fees we want at the same time, because we want the same amount of lambdas and fees. And after we connect this to the input and also to the output, using a different wire in that case. You know what? Let's do the green wire here, because the red wire is going to be going all the way there. And here, at the end, we should be having 2 fees as well as 2 lambdas. And this is going to be a set request. It's going to be a set request. Once we have a difference of 8, the divide by 8 multiplied by 4, by 2. In that case, however, the last problem is that D here shouldn't be 4, it should be 8. So instead of doing that, let's configure not D, but let's have E, the next letter, as 8. Or we can always do D times 2, but that's fine. Basically, D applies to the first set of 8, and E applies to the second set of 8. So here, we are checking E and not D. Okay, cool. E is 8. Okay, cool. That should work. That should work. Hopefully, it should work. I've removed this, and now let's connect it all to the chain. And finally, set request. Yep. What's the... Okay, the situation now is that we don't need to balance anything out, and that's exactly what we want. Now let's copy everything here. Not copy like that, but copy as a blueprint. Remove everything which doesn't belong to this. What research should we do next? There is mining productivity 20k, but before doing the 20k one, it uses level 2s. Let's do the laser and the worker robot speed. Speaking of the of the speed, let's do lasers for the ships, efficiency of ships that Faustus requested a long time ago, and let's do the robot working speed next, and finally let's do the productivity using the beacons level 2. Let's do it like that. Mining, robot speed, lasers. Oh, you think mining should go first? By the way, is there research? With no, there's no research by upgrade. You know what? You might be right. Mining could be should be more important, and then we can do these. Since we have already lasers at half, we can do them next, and then we can have the speed. Since it's already at half. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Mining productivity should slowly be increasing. Slowly. I'm waiting to see the 1%. Might take some time. depending on how many catalogs we have produced. Oh yeah, 1%. Look at this. It's slowly going there. Okay, good. Let's have this. Oh, did I just lose the? Did I just lose the blueprint? I might have lost the blueprint. That's fine. Let's do it again. So shift copy here. Remove these. Remove these. And this is good. Okay, so now let's put it in front of all of... Okay, you know what? This chest is really in the way because of the beacon here. Let's put it at the top, where it's the least in the way. So let's do it like this, this, and this. And of course, tons of them are ghosts. Okay, and finally fix the items. Finally fix the items. So these are good. Here we are checking x's and basically the other operation, x's and epsilons into lambdas and phis. Oh, and that's good. These two don't change, by the way. These two don't change because it's the opposite operation, but we still count their highest ones. And we the only thing we change is here we need to basically have the difference in the other way around, and output x's. And here, instead of doing lambdas, we are using x's input count, and here we are multiplying x's by -1 to give us the amount of epsilons, which are together. And here we go. This is done. Do we really not need to change this? Yeah, I think so. And here is zetas and omegas into thetas and gammas. So let's go. Zetas plus omegas, and let's have zeta as the main one because it's the first one in the list. And here is gonna be gammas and omegas, right? Gamma and omega, and gamma is gonna be the representative. Gamma and omegas. Wait a second. No. Zetas and gammas. What am I doing? Zetas and gammas. And it's not the gamma, it's an omega. Zetas and omegas as zetas, and gammas and thetas. Let's say thetas and gammas as thetas. That's right. Thetas are the outputs, and thetas and gammas are the outputs, and zetas and omegas are the inputs. So we have zetas and thetas, and let's have zeta minus theta here, which gives us zeta compared to E. And finally, zeta multiplied by 1, giving us the amount of omegas at the end, both inputs. Zeta plus omega. Okay, cool. Let's copy these, because these are kinda the same here, except for these three, where we have omegas minus zetas, giving us omegas. Here we have omegas. And here we have omegas multiplied by 1, giving us gammas. And here we go with the level 2. Unfortunately, we can't really test it because it's all balanced out, but don't you worry, guys. We're going to be making some Nakum tesseracts, which are going to create the imbalance using two different items, two different recipes, which are going to be switching. And we're going to be testing the full system, whether it's working or not. Okay, let's do the final operation here, the final balancing. And the final balancing, it's kind of this, but even more complicated. It's this, but even more complicated, where we need to sum up 4 of them. We need to sum up 4 of them, but it's the same principle. It's the same principle. I don't even know if we're able to fit it here. Let's put the pole here. Oh, you know what? We need to connect the poles, by the way. We need to connect the poles. We're going to be testing it first, anyways, with the constant combinator. But the idea is, let's do the sums at the bottom, so we can have this space for the logic. Let's do the sums here. And here we go. So this one is the one which consumes zeta, theta, gamma, and omegas. So we need to add them up. Zeta plus theta. Let's have... Yeah, let's have zeta as the main representative. Zeta plus thetas into zetas. And here we are going to be having gammas and omegas into zetas still. So zeta is the representative of all the sum. Let me connect all of these and all of these into the combinator. And here we are having the other ones, lambda, xi, epsilon, and phi. Lambda plus xi. Let's make the lambda the representative. Epsilon plus phi into lambda. So lambda represents the result, and that represents the input. And here we again need yet another variable, because from what I'm understanding, it's gonna be even higher once the imbalance of the sums. And the imbalance of the sums basically means that here we had every single item imbalance in between was 4. Keep in mind we multiply the result by 2 as well, so it's actually 2. Like the real difference we want to wait for is 2. Here the real difference we want to wait for is 4, but this is between pairs. So where this is the difference between sums of 2 as 8, and this is the difference between sums of 4, 16. So in the end, every single item's difference is still gonna be 2 in the end, kinda. I'm coding on a Minecraft mod, but my item has only an empty texture. I have never made mods for any game, actually. I like using mods. I don't like making. I like playing them. But yeah, good luck. It's really cool. Like people who give selflessly their time to make mods for games, like they gain nothing from it usually, and I'm really impressed by their like devotion to the community. Kind of thing. So here we have all of the... so again, we need to make a difference. So this one should be the difference between the representative of the ones we want to get rid of, zeta, minus the representative of the ones we need, lambda. Outputting zetas, f. Yeah, exactly, paying respect. Exactly. And here we have making a mod means you get to use that mod. That is true. Like, but usually you don't make only for yourself, right? You make it for you want people to use it. Like if I made a mod, I would be proud that people use it, and I would be like, cool, like I made something people enjoy. So I think that's how people can feel. Dev but wrong. And here we go. Bam, bam. Like, especially you're like you spend so much time usually doing this stuff, and you're not even paid for that. And I mean, if it's like a hobby, then it's fine. But if, I mean, yeah, it is a hobby usually, something you choose to do on your free time because you're having fun. Okay, so we have the difference here. The difference needs to be compared to E, like that. Let's put it here. Like, we're gonna be needing more combinators than before, so we're gonna be needing 3 more. So green is coming in from this one. Let's actually connect it to the to here. And you know what? I think these are. Oh, what happened? Oh, I pressed the location. Oh my god, I was like, game crashed. I pressed the location here. I pressed the click to view. Oh my god, I was scared for a second. And I realized I've forgotten to connect these. And I think that's... Do we have a red one? No, we don't. Here, 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 and here. Okay, good. Here we go. We have the difference. We calculate the amount of zetas if it's above or equal to E, which is cool. We have this. And finally, we need to divide it by... Oh, and by the way, the division should not be done through this one. The division should be done through the constant. Here, the division, but... Yeah, green wire. Yeah. You know what? Instead of having a 2's here, instead of dividing by 8 and dividing by 4, we should actually be dividing by D and by E, respectively. So let me quickly fix that. It's a bit more... it's smarter to reuse the variable. So this should be divided by D instead of having a hard-coded value. So here as well, divide this by, and this is where it's super helpful to have what I did, like the convention of having all the items on one wire, in my case red, and having the control signals on another wire, which is green. And that means that the state of the system, which are like all the spheres, does not interfere when you connect the green wires only. And here is E being 8. By E, and here the division, like this, is F. Cool. So connect this, and connect this one for F. Press F. Oh, wait a second. Why is this E? Oh, because I copy pasted it. This one should be F as well. So if it's above or equal to 16, outputting the and by the way, this is not Xi, it should be Zeta, the representative, the Zeta. And we divide everything by F, and finally we multiply it by 2 because we want 2 of every single item. And here is where we just need to have 3 more combinators. Like first multiplication by 2, of course. First multiplication by 2. And 2 is, by the way, hard-coded, but it's fine. Like it's always like we want them to be by 2s. And here we should be having 2 zetas if you have an imbalance of 16. But the 2 zetas should also be transformed into every other item. So let's place them somehow. We need 3. Maybe like 1, 2, and 3. Yep, that's perfect. So let's connect the green wire to the inputs and have this one going through the outputs. Is this okay? Yeah, I think it's okay. The red wire is going through the outputs all the way into the chest as a requester. And the green wire is gonna be going from this output into all of these. Input and input. And the green wire is gonna be basically having Xi multiplied by 1. Oh, sorry, Zeta multiplied by 1. Outputting every other one of these. So theta, gamma, and omega. Theta. Not lambda. Not the wall. Theta, gamma, and omega. Like this. Here we go, here we go. So basically, we're having the sum of 4 of these. We're comparing to the sum of these, and once it's below, it's above 16, we basically divide it by 16 multiplied by 2, and outputting the number for every single one of these 4 items, like based on a representative, which is the zeta. We output theta, gamma, and omega as a set request. But before doing the set request, let's actually wire it to, like, let's put a temporary cable here just to read the values. And we want to be looking at these and we want to be inserting a dummy. Let's put a dummy into this one. And let's see. So again, we lose. Oh, and you know what? In that case, we don't even need to have this mess. We don't need to divide by 16 multiplied by 2. We can divide by 8, because in this case, going 1 by 1 is actually okay. Because these take 1 and output 1. So we don't have to have a huge difference, a huge of a difference. We don't have to. We don't have to. What does that mean? That means that when the difference is 4, when the difference is at least 4, so in that case we actually, yeah, we can be reading 4, right? When the difference is 4, it means that we need every single item. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Let's try. When the difference is 4, we just need to divide by 4, and we don't have to multiply by 2. The reason why we drop from 16 all the way down to 4, not even 8, is because, first of all, we have removed the multiply by 2, which is one case why we had to divide by 2. And the second reason why we had to divide by 2 is because we don't... Wait, why was that? The reason why we multiply by 2 is because we want to have every single item. Oh yeah, by pair, and that means that in case of 1, before we had 2. In case of 2, we had 8, and here in case of 4, we want them to be by their single one. So it's still 4. It's still 4. So we need to remove this one, and this one should be divide by d, and yeah, and basically the output is this one. The output is like that. Bam. And then it's all connected with the outputs. Like that. Yep, I think that's correct. Let's test it out. Let's test it out. Just divide by 4. Divide the difference by 4. So the combinator here, it should contain. Let's try to make an imbalance kind of obvious. So zeta, theta, gamma, and omega. Here, zeta, let's say it's 2. Theta is 3. It doesn't matter, but let's try. Zeta, theta, gamma is 4, and omega is 5, making the total 14. Making the total be 14, and let's have the other ones be like 1, 2, 3, 4, making them be 10. Lambda, xi, epsilon, gamma. Lambda, xi, 1, 2, 3, and sorry, not gamma, phi, 4. So here we go. Here we have 14 at the top. The sum should be 14, and here at the bottom the sum should be 10. So here the difference should be 4. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And the 4 is distributed across all of these, and we should be having 1 of each. Indeed, we have 1 zeta, theta, and gamma and omega. Now let's bump one of these. Let's add 4 to the system. Let's say we have 9 omegas. We should be having 2 of each. Yes, indeed. And now let's not make it easily divisible. Let's go back. Let's drop this one by 1. Instead of having 9, let's have 8. If we have 8, we are still at only 1 of them, and that is good. That's exactly what we want. I think we're done. I think we're done. Let's remove this. Let's remove this one, and let's push it as a set request. Perfect. Connected with the red wire, and it should all be good. Of course, now everything is balanced, so we don't need it. But and finally, let's do the top one by copy pasting everything, basically. By copy pasting everything with a shift, remove these, remove, and that's it. Put it here. Connect the green wire first. Then change the letters. So these don't need to be changed. Again, we have the same representatives. However, the difference is now the opposite. So we do lambdas minus zetas and output lambdas. Here, lambdas are checked as opposed to d. We divide everything by d. And here we have lambdas multiplied by everything and outputting. What are the outputs? Lambda, xi, epsilon, and phi. Lambda xi, lambda epsilon, and lambda phi. Here we go. The system is done. and until the fixes are required. Shall we make some tesseracts, guys? Let's make some tesseracts, and let's see how it goes. Let's create some imbalance. So it doesn't matter. Like, this system is super big, but it should balance any kind of imbalance. Any sort of imbalances should be handled automatically. Let's go. So here what we have is oh, beacons don't need the spheres. Oh, they need tesseracts though. Okay, so let's go for tesseracts. Let's go for the tesseracts. Where are they? Oh, they might be made in big machines. Or maybe the ones I don't really know of just yet. Tesseracts. They're made in gravimetrics. Ah, yeah, of course. Like every single operation involving the spheres is made in gravimetrics, right? So let's go. It doesn't matter which recipe we use, because anyways it's gonna be changed. And we always need to be requesting lambdas, x's, and zetas in the system. And you know what? While they are flying, while the robots pick them up, and while they are flying here, the system considers that we lack them. So the advantage is that the pre-balancing will begin. The pre-balancing will begin because the system considers that we are lacking them while they are flying. kinda. Let's move them here. So let's have the spheres handled on this side of the assembler, and the outputs are handled on this side. So here we go. What are the outputs? The outputs are, oh my god, 5 possible outputs. You know what? That requires maybe a bigger chest. And 2 of these because, oh no, one of them can have 5. Oh, that's fine. So theta, epsilon, phi, gamma, omega. These are the possible outputs. Theta, epsilon, phi, gamma, omega. Basically, all of these go back in the chest and get balanced. However, this is outside of the, hold on, and let's first deliver the items: cubes, cubes, plates, and rods. By the way, do we have plates here? Naquium plates. It's not something that should be requested. Yeah, it's not. It's something that should be delivered. I don't think we're delivering plates just yet. We're delivering cubes though. We're trying to deliver the cubes, but we're not delivering plates. And by the way, why this train is never able to take cubes? Because it cannot find it can never be prioritized because cubes are used everywhere. They're not being produced, by the way. They need naquium plates. Oh, by the way, we have so many things to manage. Hold on a second. Before we do any tests, let's have this one, the Big Bertha. Let's make it go back. And by the way, I have again forgot to press auto launch. That's bad. So we need to wait until it launches. Second thing to do is let's check the haulers. What's going on with? Oh, one of them is grounded. So let's check more. So what's going on with Naquitite? It's not being produced because of lack of stone. We don't have stone in this on this planet. We need to do core mining of stone. This is something we have not gotten around to do just yet, and that creates a need. So Naquitite is actually not flowing. The core miners here are completely emptied. The balancing here, though. Oh, wait a sec. We have tons of stone in the. Hold on. Why the train is not bringing in stone? It is bringing in. Oh yeah, because it's not in the. It should be brought to this by the rocket, but it's not being brought by the rocket. It's used at the mall. That's a bit of a pickle. Like, until we have all the products, Naquitite is not going to be working, and of all products we want, all products we need, the stone is the one we're lacking. But never mind that for now. Never mind that. Let's still try and see whether the balancing is correct. That's I think all of us here are only interested in this. Where can we get the plates? Oh, by the way, we might not be having the cubes, but do we have the plates? Do we have the plates? No, not really. I mean, we can still take them. Like, we don't have the full chest, but we can still bring them by hand. Let's do that. Let's go there and bring stuff. Let's scrap some of the things we have. Launch. Let's go get some plates. The advantage of this system here as well is that we can always come and get served manually if we choose to do so. Here we go. Let's get all of these here. Some plates just for the system. Should we get more? Yeah, sure. Let's get more. Get the chest here. And then what's the other thing we need to do? Oh, we need the cubes. But the cubes, we do have them. We do have the cubes produced. Here we still need the plates though, but that is fine. However, my issue is that these cubes might be requested elsewhere, as is in the production of the satellites for the satellites. Where is it? here we have a production of these, yeah, and indeed these request cubes. So I'm gonna disable the production of the Arcosphere collectors for now. We need to fix this problem with the stone, which cancels all the Naquitite flow. I'm gonna cancel this production of the Arcosphere collectors. For now it's fine, and let's go there and build some of them manually with all the Naquim plates we have. Ready, guys? Faustus, are you ready? Are you ready to witness the balancing? The efficient but slow balance, as you said. Almost there. So let's produce some of these. Sure, here you go. The cubes are in now. Where do the cubes go? If not here, is there anything else which needs cubes? Please don't come. Where do you bring them? 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 Oh, the okay, accumulators as well. Okay, let me cancel this as well. Canceling this as well for now, until we have the flow. Until we have the flow. Okay, cubes are being accumulated here, and let's bring them to this one. And again, this one is just put a requester chest, and let's put a storage chest for the tesseracts. So a requester chest should be asking for Naquim cubes, Naquim plates, and cranite rods. Let's get the plates manually. Let's get some cubes, and let's get some cryo rods. Here we go. Here we go. Ready, guys? We're gonna be requesting lambdas, x's, and zetas, and let's look at the balancing. We have all of this laid down here, and let's see whether it balances. Lambdas, x's, and zetas. Lambdas. How many do we want? Let's request 4x4. Lambdas, x's, and zetas. Let's go! So, look at the numbers. Like, the total amount of spheres is indeed being quite low, but that's because they're being processed. And as they're traveling around, the balancing is being established. X's are touching 0. Oh, they're being produced. X's are being produced. Yeah, X's are recovering. We need a better total amount. We need a better total amount, because the spheres which are being distributed around don't count, and yeah. So I'm seeing your points about having hashtag mistake. It's not a mistake. There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. Look at this. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it needs Naquim plates. Where do you see a mistake? Move mix issue. Where do you see a mistake? Oh, and by the way, these should not go. Hashtag you don't see it. Hashtag mistake you don't see it. Okay, let me check. So this is still being produced. These are only being produced because of the plates, of course. Like, they need tons of plates. Naquim plates are like one thing we. Oh, wait a second. No, that's fine. Like, the fact that these are not all activated at the same time is fine, because they are the same recipe. They're the same recipe, and just wait to have the items to be activated. What I'm seeing though is that the balancing here is working. Wait a second. 0 lambdas, 0 zetas. Oh, lambdas are 1. What I'm seeing is that balancing is kind of working. Let's see whether zetas get to 1. Oh, wait. We also don't have fees. Yeah, we just have too few spheres to play around with. We just have too few spheres to play around with, and maybe zetas are still down. You know what? Maybe 4 is a bit too much. Maybe 2 would be better. But why don't we have zetas? Hold on. Oh, we have them now. We have them now. It's slow but steady. Like the fact is that we don't have too much spheres to play around, because basically this build takes, as explained, 24 spheres. It needs 24 spheres as catalysts, and then it has spheres flying around. Lambda's fees. Yeah, look at the numbers. Like we just don't have enough numbers to properly to have the balancing. But the spheres, where are they? Oh. Okay, I get it. Okay, you got me. I get it now. Indeed. Let's put them in the chests. Better? Find the treasure. Yeah, I was like, before it was different numbers. So yeah, look. Oh, stack size 1. Tesseract stack size is 1. Oh my god, these are like super precious. But the balancing is here. Let's see whether the balancing is properly reestablished. I mean, we're gonna be running out of plates at some point, anyways. But let's make more cubes. Travel time. Yeah, travel time. I do understand now. I do understand your point. Like, if you have a mega chest, say landing pad, and if you have eight of these machines all around the landing pad, I mean, either you do the brute force balancing, or you do the own formula balancing, depending. Like, you count the spheres and you kind of you did what I did. You calculate where they should go. That's really hard. Like, this solution only works because they are by sets of 4, and they have catalysts, and they have each their own logic. So I don't think it's possible to have like this controlled distribution if you have everything in one chest and only 8 of these. But guys, it's balanced. It's all balanced, and I'm super happy about this. Now let's challenge ourselves a bit. It works indeed. You just need more input. Yeah, if you had more spheres, then it's no problem. If you had more spheres, and the sphere collection is in progress. That's the beauty of the theory. But I do agree that the travel time might be... I mean, the travel time is kind of future-proof, because it's all gonna be better once we have 1, more spheres, and 2, a faster robot traveling speed. So it's kind of a... it's not a big deal, I would say. Every crafting machine you add into the mix removes some of the spheres in their buffers. Yeah, like once if the machines are processing, the spheres are not being counted as being present in the system. That's true. But that's also the same for any other balancer, right? Oh, but of course, because we have so many machines that with this kind of balancer, it's a bit more yeah, you have more buffer because of the sheer amount of machines. But not all of them are working at the same time. But the advantage of this balancer is that you reach the equilibrium way faster than just having like 8 machines, because you would need to run the same operations over and over and over. And here we kind of... they run, many of them run the same operations, like we have only 8, of course. But still they are kind of parallelized, and they know what they're doing. They only run if they need to run. That's the beauty. Like, they only run if the balance needs to occur, and we have determined the chains towards the balance. And let me show you something now. Let me explain how to use the formula to calculate the exact amount of operations you need to do in order to reach the balance after, say, a formula. Let me show you how to do it. How to apply the formulas on the Excel. So Excel time, guys. Excel time. Cable chaos. Indeed it is. Better send the goat back out then. You must construct additional Oregon spheres. Exactly. Protoss voice. Let me show you something. Should we add the next? No, let's keep this as being the theory. This is the theory, and let me show you how to apply the theory to calculate the exact combinations necessary to reach the equilibrium for specific resources. So I'm gonna copy paste the spheres here. That was basically that was to show you how to use the formulas, which we might actually apply. Okay, back to Factorio, guys. Apologies for this very long. So imagine you have watched me on the Excel like this while like making mistakes and stuff for I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, right? So I went through this, but during 2 hours, during this famous night before the stream, before the last stream, where I wrote down the solutions, it was the same, but more complex because it was the first time. Yeah, so I don't think you would have liked or watch me do this during that night. So, anyways, the solution is working. The solution is working. As you can see, we have all the cubes in the world, all the Naquin Tesseracts we want in the world, as long as we have Naquitite and all the other intermediate items. And we have the balance. We still have the balance. Let's go have a look at the collector here. It finished processing. It should have collected 13 indeed. Let's put it back and send this off, and let's send it home. Not Naquium. God. Head breaks indeed, yeah. So congratulations, guys, for watching me make mistakes on Excel for 20 minutes. You have patience. I can tell as much. And you know what? Let's have a clamp. Let's have a clamp for that ship somewhere. Go to the mall first. We don't have any more fuel. Disabled. Yeah, let's get everything. So, what's next? What's next? I think after having looked at the cards, at the level 2 cards, you can see that all you need is Naquium plates, significant datas, and Arcospheres. That's all you need. We actually, you know what? We could easily go place the production of level 2 catalogs right here. We could do it right here. We could place it super easily. We could also copy this, but this would be inefficient to have this factory copied everywhere, like a balancing factory. So let's see here. What we can do, what we might do is to basically figure out the path back from the... Oh, they have 2 recipes, right? They have 2 recipes. So what we can do is, and these are simple, they're like 2 to 2s, right? Maybe we can figure the path back for every single item and have a dedicated chain for every single item times 2 because it has 2 recipes. What do you think? How should we approach this? How should we approach this? If we go with the localized transformation for these without having like the full balancer, we might be able to get away with we will have to build a lot of balancers this way. We'll have to build a ton of different machines, which I really don't want to do. I really don't want to do that. How about bringing stuff here for balancing and bringing it out? But that's gonna have Arcospheres not flying, but we can. Does it make sense? How do you do it, guys, in your factories? Do you have one location for all the folding and balancing, like mega balancing, or do you have localized rebalancers? But maybe if you look at the recipes, they might not be that hard. They might not be that hard. Actually, they might be hard. It depends, because sometimes if you go for example, if you go from completely unrelated letters, if you go, for example, from lambda to, I don't know, zeta, you might be needing to go through many of them just to get back into formation and to basically have you have one place for balancing. It's definitely the easiest approach. Central balancing with sciences crafting surrounding the balancer. Better to have one big build for it, otherwise you lock up too much in buffer. True. Every time we make a local balancer, even if it's like a direct chain, we reserve the catalysts, right? So one big balancer such as this is good. But now I'm wondering if it's placed correctly. Maybe we should place it somewhere in a central location in a factory and have a dedicated factory for that. But again, we need so many items. We need to bring in so many items. Like, for example, for every single processing, we need to bring... Oh, how about preparing trains containing sushi items? For example, we can have a train containing half plates, half datas, significant datas, and it can come here, have its own processing, and get out. How about making a station which serves the trains? It has low throughput. It's low throughput, so it doesn't need to be central. True. Makes sense. But I still feel like it's not really well placed, because here we're having it kind of at the very top of the spaceship yard. So it's hard to access it, right? It's hard to like bring in trains, and I mean, we could like do something weird here, but maybe we can just move it somewhere else. And again, let me remind you that the... Why do we have two omegas here, by the way? Why do we have two omegas? Why do we have two omegas? Oh, something is not working correctly. Because we should be always requesting by 2. But sometimes sometimes we have the operation done only once, and this is why we have too much items sometimes, like stored in the machines we don't really expect them to be. It's because we don't really always ask by 2. And why does that happen? I thought this guarantees having items at least by 2. Guarantees. It happened before as well for fees. I'm not sure why. There is no point in having it at your shipyard. Yeah, indeed. Like that's my point. Like, we have made it here just for testing, because it was convenient to have the ship. Speaking of ship, this one traveling between locations. And by the way, we need to find a clamp for it. We need to automate its deliveries. We need to find a clamp for it. You know what? Let's put it here for now. Kind of a. Yeah, and we need to find a place for the system. You know what? I'm so worried that we might I'm gonna copy or like delete it and do a mistake, that I'm gonna copy it all and put it in as a blueprint. I'm so worried to lose it. Spent so long working on it. So copy that. Tiles are unnecessary. Create blueprint, and we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it as Arcospheres here. I put the sum we did the first day. It doesn't really necessary. It's not really necessary. So global mega balancer. I'm gonna call it like that. Okay, mega is unnecessary. Global balancer. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Just that's just a location where they arrive. Probably better to process balance them near where they are needed. Deep space, dark explosive science factory. That is true. That is true. Like, they are mostly needed next to the items such as like the science factory. You know what? If we make it kind of next to this factory, we might oh, not here. If we make it next to the science factories, we might be able to reuse the significant data cars. Let's have a look. Where do we need significant datas? Do we need them elsewhere? Do we need them for anything else than the sciences? Because 29 results is a bit is not. Deep space, astronomic. Okay, these are needed only for sciences. So if we have a factory nearby, we might not be needing to have these yellow cards exit the system at all. I mean, we could put it in a train. That also makes sense. You ask 2 items, but if first machine takes item A and in the same time the second machine takes item B, then in first machine can be 2 A items. But that's the point. Like, first of all, they alternate, and second of all, if the items always arrive by 2, then it should guarantee that this machine takes 1, this machine takes 1, right? How does it happen that only 1 item is delivered? Maybe after the items are flying, the request is adjusted. Oh, when do the robots stop, like recalculate their trajectory? Because if robots, for example, imagine we have requested 2 items, but if one robot picks the item first, the request might change to 1, and at that point, the robot might not pick it up. Let's test it out. Let's test it out. I think I know what happens. Basically, the second robot loses its request because the request has changed, because it hasn't picked items yet. Maybe. See what I mean? It's easy to test it out. Basically, what we need to do is we need to place. Let's place a requester here. Let's place a requester here. Now let's place like a small storage chest with like I don't know. Let's put what can we put? Which we don't use. Okay, let's put 2 nuclear fuels, right? Let's put. Okay, let's put 2 nuclear fuels, and we're gonna be enabling one here and enabling one there. Put it here so it's in between. You can copy paste. So the point of this test is to basically, where is it? The point of this test is to try to change them, this 2 to 1 once the first robot deposits this here. So this should be 1. Let's. Can I make it fast? Ah, I'm too slow. Okay, never mind. I'm just too slow. We need to set up automated test, but it's fine. So I think that basically 2 robots are headed to pick the items, but first picks them up. So the condition, but the condition changes at that time, and the second robot basically says, okay, no more orders for me because only 1 needed to be completed. But that is only if the robots change their. They're able to change their tasks before picking the item, which I'm not sure if it's true. But yeah, in all cases, as Rogathian says, it doesn't need to be exact. Like we can have 1 item. It was just convenience to not have like items in the intermediate buffers. But again, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It shouldn't matter. Once the items are here, then. But it might matter here for these though. Nah, because it's still they're still alternating, right? So it's not too big of a deal. Is the requester chest storage total counted to total items in the system? Yes, indeed, it is counted. It is counted. All oh, a requester. Oh, that I'm not sure. But in all cases, once items arrive in the requester, they're immediately taken out. So you might as well not count them. They're immediately taken out. Like they're put into their machines. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so guys, I should be stopping for today. Thank you all for watching. I'm happy that we managed to finish the system, and we managed to finish the system, and it's working. I'm really happy about this. So tomorrow we are gonna be finding a nice spot for it. And okay, before doing that, let's go to Morse tomorrow. First things first, let's go to Morse and let's configure the stone, because we need all the items. Oh, we have stone now. We still don't have the items. It might be. Oh, hold on. You are just not lifting off. You have the plates. You have a ton of plates. Why are you not launching? So if Naquilad is 0, blue signal it is. If plates are above or equal to 71,550, and that is not being checked. It's not being true. It's not being true. How much plates do we have? We have 71,000 something, right? Or if they're at 0. You know what? Let's adjust to 71,000. It doesn't really matter. Now it should be launching. And second is arriving. Let's do the same here. Okay, guys. That's fine. I should be stopping now, for real. Man, I'm always a bit late. A couple of minutes late. That's fine. We shall... so tomorrow, if the stone problem is actually done, I think it's fine. Although we might be wanting to... maybe at least make a buffer. So that while this chest is empty, we can at least have a buffer chest where the stone can be stored until it's provided. Right now, it's only provided as a byproduct of other core processing. So we might be wanting to have a dedicated stone core processing core miner. But until then, maybe a buffer will fix it. Okay, thank you all for watching. Hopefully, and yeah, the next stream, I think I'm ready to say that my Arcosphere folding solution is done. So I'm hoping you guys can show yours next time. So if you want to show them, prepare them, and we're gonna look at them. I really love to look at yours and see how you have done it. I think I can say that I have finished Arcospheres. I think. Theory and a practical application. Okay, and in the meanwhile, let's go somewhere. Thanks so much from you're welcome. You're very welcome as always. Thank you for being here. It's not finished until we get to DSS4 and have all crafting balanced. Okay, let's wait until we have to get to DSS4 then. Maybe I will get more insight on the balancing in the meanwhile. Man, I'm so curious to look at what you have come up with, but yeah, let's wait for DSS4 then. Let's wait for DSS4. A full BZ. Is there anyone playing SC? Are you still live? No.
Hey, where'd the drones go? I don't know.
Yeah, stopping now, actually. Stopping now. Let's go to the person who is playing SC. There is one I am seeing. So, sending you to Mod than Yon. And see you tomorrow. Get back from dinner. Unfortunately, yeah, I have to stop now. I'm getting murderous looks. Okay, guys, thanks again. Sending you to raid, and see you next time. Bye-bye.